All right, and here we are, and similar to what we did with the flora data, we've got some geospatial layers. In this case, what we're looking at is the TRACS layer for Maricopa County in Arizona, and it's very boring right now. It's all the same color green. And we want to color it by the data which is included in this worksheet, which we brought into our geodatabase, and contains information about population and income levels and these types of things. So we want this data to be used to make interesting looking maps with this layer, and to do that we need to bring this information in to this guy, right? Which it's got some interesting information, but it doesn't have what we really care about. And the link we're going to use, the column we're going to use to join these guys, is this geoid one, right? So in this case it's called geoid 10, and down here it's called geoid ID 2. Now if you highlight this one and then do a right click and you go to properties, you'll see that in this case, in the census data, the type of data this geoid ID 2 is called a double. And that means it's a numeric data. There are numeric values associated with that, at least how the computer's recognizing that. Now, that's different than what's in this TRACS one. We open up this guy and we go to this, right? This geoid 10, which is our equivalent one. If I now do right click on here and I go to properties, this is it's seeing this only as text data, right? It doesn't know that these are actually have numeric values, that these could be numbers. And as such, if we tried to do a direct join on these two columns right now, this geoid 10 and the one in the census data, that join would fail. It would not work because we would try to join string or text data against numeric data, and it wouldn't be able to make it the match. And so in order to make the match, what we're going to do is we're going to add a new field to this table, to our TRACS table, and we're going to follow along what we have here. Right, we're going to basically, we're going to add a field, give it a name with num on the end, change it to double, which is the same type of data as we have in the census data guy, and then do some additional work to basically populate this new field with these guys and make them not be strings anymore, but make them be actual numbers. So that's kind of a explanation of what we're attempting to do right now that hopefully makes some sense. But our basic problem is we want to bring the census data into our TRACS geospatial layer. In order to do that, we need to make the data types match so that our join will actually work. Okay, so we can follow along here. So in the TRACS table, which is what we're looking at right here, this table associated with TRACS, click on the small arrow by table options and choose add field. So it's over here, and then we choose add field. Can't do this because it's in use by another application or user. Cannot acquire a schema lock because of an existing lock. All right, let me try to figure out what's going on for this. And then this will allow us to, because this is ArcGIS when there's all kinds of problems. And this is the kind of thing that happens in the real world. So let's just try this guy again. Open the attribute table. Add field. Add field failed. Cannot add field to the selected table because it is in use by another application or user. Okay. Oh, I think what's going on here is, do I have that field open in my ARC catalog? Potentially. So I'm going to close that ARC catalog. I'm going to close this guy. Are there other things I have that could be dealing? So again, I'm searching for places where this file is already open, and I'm not seeing any other places. I'm going to basically shut down all of my other windows that could potentially be using this information. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to open this guy. I'm going to go over here, and then I'm going to go to add field. Okay, I could do that, but that's not where I want to add the field. That's in my census data. I want to do it in my TRACS data, open attribute table, and then add a field. Now I can do it. Okay. Why did that little error happen? I'm not exactly sure, but I shut down as many other things as I could. If this hadn't have worked, then I would basically have saved, and actually, before I move any further, I'm going to save this map right now because I haven't saved it. So save this guy, and I'm going to call this guy Lab 1, Part 2, Maricopa County. Great. Okay, so if that hadn't worked, I would have shut everything down and then opened it back up again. But it did seem to work, so we're in business. So again, I'm going to follow along here. What I want to do is, in Tracks, open up my attribute table, and then I want to add a new field that'll be kind of like this field, but instead of this field, which is a string, I want to add a new field, which is numerical. So I'm going to add a field, and I'm going to follow along. So this is the name I want it to be, so I'll just follow this, GEOID 10 num for numerical, and I don't want it to be a short integer. I want it to be a double. This is a type of, it's a data type that allows for many, many, many numbers or many, many digits. If I just did a short integer, it wouldn't be able to have as many digits as what we see up here. And then I'm going to say OK. Oh, and this is exciting. So we've created a new field over here. I'm going to right click on this guy, and I'm going to do, I'm just following along here, right? So right click on this guy, field calculator. I'm going to say yes. I'm bold. Okay, and now so basically instead of these null values, I want to give them numbers that will help me do something. So, and the numbers that will help me do something are these guys in geoid 10. So geoid 10 is what I want. And what do I do here? Geoid 10 num, it's going to be a type number. And so it's going to be geoid 10 num is equal to whatever the values are in geoid 10, which is here, and it's going to make it as a number. And that's all, okay? And I'm going to say, okay, it's thinking, oh, and it just, now instead of null values, there are these values. And if I right click on this guy and go to properties, now it's double, and that it matches the same as what we have for the census data. If I could open this thing. Double. So now I can do the same kind of join that I did with the Florida data, and things should be great.